Greetings, everyone. Tulku Lobsang Rinpoche is a Buddhist master who bases his teachings on the ancient Tantric knowledge that has been the foundation of Tibetan Buddhism. He has received general teachings in all of the Tibetan Buddhist traditions, and he has had 35 main teachers from whom he received instructions and specific empowerments and initiations. Today, Vin Poche continues as a practitioner of all traditions. On the solid foundation of his profound knowledge, Vin Poche is a mediator and transmitter of the Tibetan Buddhist culture and traditions, integrating various disciplines in one. Since 2000, Tulku Lobsang has been traveling to many countries to give teachings and lectures in medicine, Buddhism, and astrology. Among Tulku Lobsang's fields of expertise, he has a very special connection to Tummo inner fire meditation, and he teaches it publicly, both live and online. Today, it is my great joy to meet Tulku Lobsang and to explore with him themes that are precious to my heart: inner fire meditation, the essence of Tantra, and the nature of the Buddha's concept of emptiness. So we'll start with the small and move to the big and then end in the biggest. So I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to explore together, to have this discussion. Thank you for allowing this.
Oh, thank you very much. And I have this opportunity to discuss and to talk with you. And yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I would like to start with, as I said, with Tummo, and to understand a little bit the foundations of this technique or of this method and your understanding of it. So my first question is perhaps a bit technical. Do you differentiate between inner fire and Tummo?
I mean, it's difficult to say, but somehow with my person, I don't make a difference. Of course, Tummo is Tibetan language. That's we kind of translate in English. Is we call inner fire. Yeah, I think they explain in, I think generally same thing. I don't make somehow different, but of course, Tummo is something really big thing. But maybe is when we translate inner fire is kind of sometimes maybe also possible little misunderstand, you know. Is but I think this is good translation, I think.
Yes. That's good. That's a helpful clarification. Thank you. now, would you define inner fire meditation? What is its purpose? What is its uniqueness?
And I give to answer this, maybe I say this way. Generally, of course, we believe Buddha Shakyamuni, he teach 84,000 different vehicles or methods. But all this 84,000 different vehicles or practice to conclude three things, you know. Practices three things: practice of compassion and the practice of meditation and the practice of wisdom. Therefore, in Tummo, of course, Tummo is the practice of compassion, and especially it's become practice of compassion of a body. And Tummo also become very special form or special way to meditate. And of course, Tummo is also to practice of wisdom. But here is especially in the, Tummo is a practice of compassion, Tummo is a practice of meditation, Tummo is a practice of wisdom, of course. But mainly in the Tummo is a very, very special kind of a form way to meditate. Yeah, it's a special kind of way to meditate. Very, very, very special form. Yes.
And how would you define this special way of meditation? I know, of course, it's a complex theme, but if you could provide us with some kind of definition or understanding of how it is unique or what is its purpose.
Okay, maybe I say this way. Remember I said before, we have three practices: a practice of compassion, and the practice of meditation, and the practice of wisdom. Each have one special qualities, but there's a goal is a wisdom, of course. Example, practice of compassion reduce negative emotions and direct benefit, of course. And the practice of meditation reduce the thoughts, direct beneficials. And therefore we have three kind of problem: emotions and the thoughts and the ignorance of true nature. Therefore, it's just you want to reduce the negative emotions and the practice of compassion enough, you have a benefit. And you just want to reduce in little thoughts. You want a little control to your thoughts. Yeah, of course, any kind of form of meditation help you, I'm always say meditation is not a way to stop thinking. Meditation is to learn to how to think, Yes, it's not meditation is when we meditate look like we are stopping thinking, but I always say never stop to think or thinking, you don't have a thought is maybe a big problem, But therefore is the practice of meditation is especially designed to control your thoughts, or first, of course, you try to reduce thought, and then you possibly think what kind of you want to think, And then wisdom is the practice, the direct beneficial of free of ignorance of the true nature. Of course, you're free of ignorance of the true nature, and then, of course, thoughts and emotions all disappear. But in your question, I give one direct answer is we have this. Let's say we have this gross mind and the gross body. This is gross body, gross mind, and gross self. Yes, I call this is me. Of course, the self is the combination of this body and mind. You take body away, and then you take mind away, then no have a other self. The combination of mind and body you call me or self. But in this gross mind and this gross body and this gross self, we go to meditate, we possible, but the problem of this gross mind, let's say, is with the gross mind, whenever you meditate, is you need so many time. You need to, let's say, in this gross mind, is look like mind of look like you should look like a frog jump, let's say. You know, you concentrate is very strong. He begin here very power, but then slowly he go weaker. You know, he look like going thus. He have waves, and the waves and the waves. Therefore, in this gross mind is each 100 years we have a wave. This name, one is a birth, one is a death. Birth is a wave is coming, death is a wave going. Each 24 hours we have waves coming and going. That's how when you wake up, wave is coming. When you sleep, wave is going. Each 3 hours we are very energized, but then energy going down, you know. And this wave is so much, and then it's not so productive. This mind is not so productive, and so much required energy, so much required effort, and we give up, you know, we need the training, lots of training, but outcome is very little and easy to despair, you know. But with the Tummo practice is the gross mind and the gross energy in the dissolved, and you make subtle mind or subtle energy, or energy means here body, or to make active. And with the subtle mind and the subtle body, when you meditate, one focus, enough whole journey, one focus. That's why Tantra is a fast way. It looks like this, you know. Tummo or Tantra is look like you fall in love with your child. Love of one minute of love of a child is enough the energy, rest of all your life. But the love of a wife and husband is, you need the training. You need the training every day. Otherwise, go to despair. That is a different. With the gross mind, you need so much training, gross body, and take time, and maybe we give up. Once we discover subtle mind, subtle body, one focus, one decision is take you and the path.
Oh, that's very powerful to hear.
Thank you.
So you say that inner fire leads you directly into the very subtle mind. Would you say that?
Correct.
I see. So in this sense, would you consider inner fire meditation as? Would you consider it the ultimate meditation, a meditation that can lead to spiritual enlightenment or to final realization?
Yes, you cannot possibly say this way, you know. Of course, Buddhism is a look like a supermarket. Buddha teaching, you know, look like a supermarket. I don't think any master or person who ever in this earth have such a volume of a teaching exists. Sanskrit to translate in Tibetan language, we have 110 volumes of book, maybe each book nearly 5 kilograms have, you know. Therefore, it's not easy to conclude, but you cannot possibly say yes. Yes is the we first, let's say, subtle, we say the subtle, most subtle nature of phenomena we call objects or object clear light, and then most subtle nature of a subject or most subtle nature of mind we call subject clear light, object clear light. The subject clear light means the deepest nature, the deepest nature of all phenomena. They no have more deeper than this. This name what we call emptiness, correct? And in this gross mind, possible have a realization of emptiness, but is not so powerful, look like have a deep nature of, not powerful, look like a deep nature of mind, have a realization of emptiness. Therefore, in this gross mind, I have possible have a shamanta, single point state of mind. You know, maybe I possible stay 3-4 hours without thinking anything. Only,
Yes.
you know, that's possible. But with this mind, you visualize emptiness, meditate emptiness, of course. But it's powerful, but it's not so powerful. Look like the subtle mind have, and therefore they have many techniques to discovering subtle mind. Is subtle mind you possible discover with the nature force and with meditation. And therefore, example, Tummo is with the nature, with Tummo meditation, you possible discovering subtle mind, or with the nature force, example, death.
Very interesting. Thank you. So now you are, I believe, one of the few Buddhist teachers who have chosen to teach inner fire publicly and openly, right? Because we know that traditionally this practice was transmitted only orally and secretly for hundreds of years. And that even nowadays, most teachers are reluctant to teach it publicly. So why have you made this choice?
I didn't really analyze very deep level. Of course, you know, Buddhism is not look like Christianity or not look like, maybe not look like a Catholic. We don't have really one authorized, let's say, is not look like a pope. Many people think look like this, you know. Look like they have one boss and he decide where I go, what I teach. Of course not. It's just you do what kind of, they have a big freedom, but of course they have some instructions, you know, and you need to decide that, the teacher, you need to decide that how you do, of course.
Right.
Yes, traditionally is Tummo or Tantra teaching is a secret teaching, is not only traditionally Buddha herself say, or Buddha herself teach secretly until our masters. They have a reason to secret, you know. In the Tantra means in Tibetan language, sang ngak, 2 words you have. Sang means secret, ngak means great. And therefore, people who, sang means not, secret means not a secret who really interested in, you know, only secret people who don't interest in, who not interested in, you don't, we say sang means not, let's say somebody who really interested, who really want this. Ngak means great. This kind of people, you never secret, you give, you know, how much you can. But there's people who close-minded, or maybe people who don't go to understand, or people maybe go to misunderstand, and this people you secret. But the right people is a ngak means great. Wrong people is a secret. And my feeling is generally, I'm sure is generally, of course, you know, in the West, I see is they're really interested. Many Westerns are really interested. You know, I hope I'm not wrong, but I see really interesting. Of course, a few people do little crazy things, but that's life, you know. But generally, I say they're really interesting, and they're really good student, and that's why I kind of open to sharing, to teach in the Tummo. But the Tummo, we have also this foundation of Tummo, and then we have extra, let's say, extraordinary Tummo, and therefore mostly what I'm sharing the foundation of Tummo. But yeah, of course, you know, and therefore Tummo have many different levels have, you know. But I kind of ready to share anything to is people really, I feel people want it, is people is ready, you know. They have a reason why secret. That's important. Therefore, in Buddhism, we have seen reason is more important what not allowed. We say you need to choose what not allowed, and the reason you need to choose is a reason. Correct, many things, you know, what not allowed and the reason is more important than what not allowed. What not allowed is just, I have more reason, I have a bigger reason to tell you, maybe not allowed, or maybe, you know, some, but that's more important, you know. Therefore, I'm sharing, yes, correct. I'm sure many Tibetan Lamas also sharing, but of course they're not maybe sharing publicly, maybe look like me, and yeah. I think many not. I think they're kind of sharing some different levels, but I respect also their kind of way of sharing. The conclusion, what is the different, I think I'm not sure, but many other people and me, before they're sharing, they ask many conditions. That is a good thing. And you learn with me, you don't need much condition. That is good, but this is also bad. Because I give more condition, and then I give more difficult, I make more condition, is the only remain people who really, really interesting, you know. But I choose this way, yeah.
I see. Because sometimes when we, for example, observe that inner fire is sometimes taught without any traditional context, or without any preliminary processes or taking vows. For example, without going through the stage of deity yoga, do you consider this? So you consider this a positive and welcome process?
I think yes and no. It's look like yoga and Hindu tradition yoga, and I think and meditation is nowadays in the West very famous, of course, yoga, and of course also very famous mindfulness, what you call mindfulness. I think, of course, many other religions have this tradition, but I think mainly come from Buddhist tradition. Yoga also, maybe many other spiritual, they have some physical trainings, but of course the Hindu yoga is very famous. But they have a good side and a bad side, you know. It's sometimes I see yoga has become so popular now. Some kind of what you call sometimes this modern yoga. People who practice modern yoga, they look down traditional yoga practitioners, you know. Or let's say sometimes also people who make the mindfulness meditation, but they start looking down, or also teachers start talking joke with the traditional ones. I don't think they don't know much, and it's okay. I think most important, you make very clear, what I teach, I took in the Buddhism, or I took Hindu, but then of course I make modify, and this way I think you need to be honest, you know. And that is quite good. I see many people take some things and then they have to kind of make another package, and then they're laughing with this tradition or this and that, you know. Therefore, I think generally, I think is good. It's good, and but sometimes it's too far away, you know. Too far away is the traditional teachings. Therefore, I always believe you need the respect in the traditional teachings, but you need to have a compassion is the students. Sometimes traditional teachers, they over respect the traditional teachings. Sometimes they're not enough, maybe is not correct. Not enough compassion means they are not enough adapted to what need of a student. That's another problem. But sometimes the modern teachers, they zero respect the traditions. They are laughing with the traditions, ha ha hoo hoo. I don't think they know much, but and then they're just adapted. People adapted, and there's nothing left. It's nothing left. That's also a problem, I think.
I see. That's wonderful. So, so in this sense, would you say that inner fire is for everyone, or can it be too advanced for some, or is it that the basic practice that you're teaching, you're introducing, is relevant to anyone interested in meditation?
In the Buddhism, we have a Sutrayana Buddhism, Tantrayana Buddhism. Sutrayana Buddhism we call mind vehicle Buddhism, and Tantrayana we call body vehicle Buddhism. With my experience last 15 to 20 years, especially in the modern world and especially in the Western world, we are so much in the mind, you know. We are so much in the mind, you know. We are very, very little in the body. And we doing with the body, we're doing some basic things, of course. And therefore, you what say in the Sutrayana traditions. First, you try to have with the Sutrayana technique practice, you try to have a calm mind, and then you go to discover bliss body. And then you have a calm mind, bliss body, means your body and mind become full functional, you know. And then, yeah, that is the one way of practice. But the Tantra and the body vehicle, first you try to have a bliss body, and then you have a calm mind, you know. That's their relation. And therefore, in my feeling, is of course personally I like the body things. Of course I like mind, but and is of course they're possible separate. But in the modern world, especially Western world, I think through meditation or spiritual practice, I think maybe not everybody, but you start with the body is more easier, and therefore is the therefore, I think that's why I decided to teach in this Tummo is, and therefore you question answer. I think everybody, I really think everybody is only one condition I have. Let's say they're interesting, you know, they're interesting. That's me enough, you know, they're just interesting. That's me enough, you know. And then that's only, I have one condition, is they're interesting. I say, you're right. Maybe you're 100 years old. I don't mind it, you know. You know, maybe it's no matter, you know. I think, yes, everybody. I think so. Yeah. With my experience, yes.
Oh, that's good news. So it's wonderful that you have such an open and inviting attitude. So can inner fire have sometimes, on the other hand, side effects or unbalancing effects? Can it have some kind of, can it create an imbalance, physical or energetic imbalance? Because as I understand, inner fire is a profound practice after all.
Yes, of course, yeah, everything, yeah, not only inner fire, any practice, you know, practice of compassion is also possible go wrong way, yes, and the practice of compassion is you go to misunderstand the suffering, you know, you go to practice compassion, but you become most the suffering person in the earth. Yes, you go to practice meditation, maybe you become one of most ignorant man and woman in the earth. They always go things wrong. You know, of course, also inner fire practice, yes, there are some things possible go wrong, okay, but that is normal. You don't need afraid. That is normal, but this most important thing you need to understand what's the minimum level of you understand, not the maximum needed understand, but the minimum level of you understand. I think you go to practice, no problem. It's no problem. It's no problem. It's but that's also reason in the Buddhism we say foundation and the path and the result. The foundation you need to understand, the path you need to practice, the result you go to discovery. But the problem of a modern Western world, sometimes I think we are so tired of understanding, and then we just want to practice, just don't want I understand this. Somehow we, and then sometimes maybe not enough understand, then you go to practice, maybe not so good. Therefore they have minimum level of understanding. Generally, I say no problem.
I see. That's interesting. So you say that if there is wisdom, if there is an insight into the practice, then this reduces the chances of imbalances.
Correct.
Yeah, wow.
Therefore, understanding, practicing, and discovering. Foundation of a Buddhism, understanding. Understanding. You don't need to understand everything, not possible, but they have basic requirement of understanding. Once, because your practice never go to contradict understanding, and then result never go to contradict of your practice. That's what we say. Therefore, I think that is a problem of, example, many spiritual practice, some spiritual practice, many, I don't know, it's not correct. Maybe they only talk result, result, this and that. They don't have path. They don't have path. They just make Hollywood movie or Bollywood movie, and then student like to listen, it's just you talk nice story, it's a story, okay. And some people, they give maybe good practice, but they don't have understand level also. Well, some people also, they have understand level maybe good, but they never go to practice. Therefore, I think we need all angles, is some minimum levels, not the maximum look like professors or geishis. We don't have this wealth, or we don't have this time,
Yes, I understand. So one last question about inner fire.
Yes, please.
I'm sure that you know that inner fire has sometimes been popularized as a practice that raises body temperature and increases body heat. Is this a feature of the practice at all? Because in my reading, it seems that serious teachers only emphasize subtle or inner heat.
And yes, is to generate body temperature raising up. Let's say generally yes is a part of Tummo. Yes, but you talk very little part, but we believe our body is look like earth. Our brain is in the Tantric Buddhism. Our brain is look like ocean of our body. We have this water body, and our chakras: crown chakra, front head chakra, throat chakra. We have 6 heart chakra, navel chakra, sexual chakra. We have 6 chakra, 18 chakra, whatever chakra want. Let's say mainly we have 5 chakras or 7 chakras. Those chakras is look like rivers of our body. Not rivers, sorry, legs of a body. 7 legs of earth, ocean. 1 ocean is brain. 7 legs, 7 chakras, and we have 72,000 channels. Is 72,000 rivers of earth, and we have each pool. We have, I don't know, sometimes my English problem. We have many pools here. We have maybe 28 billions or trillions of pools. This is look like stream water. Therefore, brain is ocean, and the main chakras is lake, and the 72,000 channels river, and then each pools becomes stream water. Therefore, we have a water body, and this water body is look like freeze ice water body. You have a freeze ice water body, means pain body. Because our body is so painful, we not possible to do anything. One example, I mean, I'm sure you're a great practitioner, but let's say no more people look like, I mean, me or anybody. Maybe I'm not possible sit with one posture longer than maybe 10 minutes, or already start to complaining, you know, how possible I do something, you know, and because of pain body. And but to this ice pain body is not, I mean, I don't have pain moment, you know, I don't have pain, but it's we still call pain body, of course. And with the inner fire, yes, really inner fire, and you transform this ice pain body is the bliss water body, let's say. Here is bliss water body means, what really mean, body is not only don't have a pain, but bliss. So bliss. And then when you have a bliss body do everything what you say. I say body sit, maybe say 10 hours. He don't complaining. He just happy stay there. Correct? And therefore, in this case, we need inner fire to ice pain body transform to water bliss body. Once you have a bliss body, and the bliss body becomes secondary cause of calm mind, and then mind start to go calm. You reach deepest level calm, look like a moment of death. You know, and with this, why I say sorry is sorry. Therefore, you question, I start to need to give answer, and therefore, yes, fire need, body temperature need to bring up is necessary, but they have a two kind of a body temperature. Let's say is the ordinary Tummo fire and the extraordinary Tummo fire. Is the ordinary Tummo fire means fire with the waves. Extraordinary fire without waves. Fire with the wave is, I mean, beginner look like me or any beginners. Of course, we make a Tummo fire practice. The heat is coming, look like a fever, you know. This. Yes, of course, some helpful something, but long term is not great beneficial, you know. And therefore, the first fire is not so good. Fire quality needed, because a fire have more wave. A fire is more rough, more hot, more burning. More hot, more burning. That's not healthy your body long term. It's not good. Of course, he burn all good things. It look like a fever, correct? And but with your training is the fire quality come better, means fire without waves. Maybe one day you discover zero wave, fire without zero wave, and this fire is you experience in out, no matter. Is this you touch body, then you don't have temperature. You say, I'm an ordinary Tummo, I'm practice a beginner, maybe I'm stay here, you touch me, my body temperatures go hot, you know. Of course, they have some benefits. My conclusion, yes, is the Tummo is the, we say, is the one medicine, all disease, of course, and also one practice. With Tummo practice, you have a health, but you also have a spiritual practice. Therefore, Tummo is something very, very good. I hope I say this way.
Yeah, I can feel the ocean of knowledge, and we're just tapping into it. Just a little. Yes, yes. Just touching on it. So I would like to try to understand something that I find very important, and this is what is Tantra. You see, because Tantra seems to be a vague concept. Even traditional tantric masters are not always clear about what exactly distinguishes Tantra from other teachings. I think also researchers are confused about it. So what in your view is Tantra?
I completely understand who confuse. I think if somebody say, I don't confuse, I think complete lie or complete ignorant person. I don't believe. Of course, of course, you know, of course, I don't have great knowledge. But I always say I have enough knowledge. I'm not make a mistake, you know, to say things. Maybe I don't have a great knowledge. Not maybe possible tell is many things, but at least I have knowledge not to think wrong or wrong thing under saying. Well, I make a simple way. Tantra is combination of the nature force and Tantra is a combination of nature force and then your force, maybe practice of your meditation. We have a two force, nature force and the force of my own practice. Yeah, therefore we say nature force and meditation. Tantra is a combination of a nature force and meditation. What mean nature force means here karmic force. Therefore, here what mean nature force means karmic force. Example, I'm die. That's karmic force. Therefore, we use death as a vehicle. Death is, we never call death as a path, but is a vehicle. And I go to sleep. Of course, nature force, but this is also karmic force. And we use sleep as a vehicle. And of course, our emotions, you know, anger, attachment, jealous, ego, attachment, all this is a nature force. Here, nature force means a karmic force. Yeah, and the karmic force we call nature force. Yeah, and this nature force make combination of meditation. Therefore, nature force we call poison. You know, poison, of course, is poison. Of course, is I'm dying with the karmically. I don't want to die. Is I have a choice. I don't want to die. Of course, generally, of course. Is I have a choice. I don't want to sleep. You know, sleep is a kind of very not interesting. And, you know, is I have a choice. I don't want anger. I don't want the jealous. But anyway, this is coming. Therefore, generally, I say Tantric Buddhism is with the karmic force or nature force combination of meditation. That is the essence of Tantra.
Yeah, that's a wonderful and clear definition. So would you say that this applies then to all kinds of what we consider lower energies, for instance, sexual energy, anger, hatred, fear? Can they all be meditated on or become objects of meditation or vehicles, as you say?
Yes, vehicle. You should be say vehicle. Example in the nature world is there are many moments, but the three important moments: the moment of death is the moment of sleep and the moment of sex. And the sex is the one of the most powerful karmic force. I don't believe who say I never feel sexual energy is I don't believe as you possible controlled, of course, you possible repressed. Yeah, maybe you're not interested in sex possible, but the sex is you possible sex through of looking, you possible sex through of listening music, and you possible sex with through of smell or whatever. Therefore, my conclusion is in the sexual energy or sexual energy, especially all kind of emotions, especially attachment. Attachment, one of the most powerful emotion in our, of course, ignorance, anger, jealous, everything, you know, but in the especially human realm, attachment, everything. We are so good, we are human beings, so beautiful because of attachment. We are so terrible, we go destroy everything because of attachment. Especially sexual attachment is very, very interesting force, yeah? Therefore, yes, you possible use this. Therefore, in the Tantric Buddhism, we say 3 moments: the moment of awake, and the moment of sleep, and the moment of death. Moment of death, we use the death is a vehicle. And moment of sleep, and we use, sleep is a vehicle. Moment of wake, we use our attachment, or you call our attachment or our sexual energy, you possible use in the vehicle to reach a deepest level of, reach in the most subtlest level of mind. Don't forget that. You reach subtle level mind, that's not mean anything. Not mean anything. That's not mean is you're enlightened. Not mean anything. Everybody moment of death reach in the subtle level, you know. But with the practice of death, with the yoga of the death, with the yoga of what same sleep, or with the yoga of our attachment or yoga of sexual energy, yes. You reach in the deepest level of a subtlest level of mind, but that's not enough because you, with the subtle mind, need to have a realization of true nature or emptiness, and then self-grasping is not survive. The moment of self-grasping is not to survive. Yes, we are free of a cycle of a karmic birth and death.
So if we are able to use every gross energy or every gross opportunity as vehicles, do you think that this makes Tantra more suitable for Westerners who are interested in the material world and material experiences, or is it? Yes.
Yes, I think so. Maybe I tell you another way again, also your question. Generally, I say this is complete, maybe I'm wrong, but I say this way, you know. Generally, is a Sutrayana Buddhism, their suffering use a vehicle, you know. Suffering is their use of vehicle, and the suffering give you power, you know. Suffering give you courage. Suffering give you forward. That's normally happening in the world. Need a crisis. World need a problem to forward. Correct? That's how normal practice. Of course, nobody want the crisis. Nobody want the problems. But until we don't have the crisis or suffering and the problem, we are staying in what you call comfortable zone. You know. I think some people say this. We're too comfortable. You know. Therefore, in the Sutrayana Buddhisms, we use suffering is a vehicle, mainly, I say, is a dangerous. Suffering use a vehicle is also dangerous, of course. Sometimes, maybe sometimes you become most a suffering person, you know. Look like you taking medicine, is you go to free of medicine, not to become medicine, you know. Some people will take medicine is too much, you know, whole time, you know, and that's not the goal, of course. But the Tantra, we use beauty or bliss or happiness. Let's say Tantra use happiness or bliss use vehicle. In the modern world, relatively, we are really happy, you know. I think maybe 300, 400 years ago, we have so much suffering. We have so many suffering, you know. You don't need to go too far away, you know, so much suffering. I don't know Tantra how much beneficial, you know, but in especially modern world, basically we don't have much suffering, you know. And then I start talk suffering vehicles. Of course, we still have sufferings, but I don't think this make you so powering, you know. And we are quite a wealthy moment. I think one of the best moment of history of Earth. I don't know, we have become more better, maybe. You know, as I mean, in the West, I mean, of course, many people still have many suffering, but quite. Therefore, I usually say in the modern world, it's not only suffering make suffering, but we don't have a suffering make a suffering, you know. You know, therefore they need to fend the suffering, you know. And therefore in the Tantra I feel very suitable in this moment in the modern world, because Tantra we teach happiness and the bliss is a vehicle. And we have so many happiness. Let you think early morning until evening, they have so many reasons to be happy. Happiness everywhere, look like a mushroom. And therefore, I think Tantra is more stable now than maybe other times.
Yes. I can appreciate that, this point. So could I ask one last question?
Yes, please. Yes.
So I want to conclude our discussion with clarifying one more concept, one more principle that I think is perhaps sometimes intimidating or confusing, and this is the concept of happiness. Sorry. I'm sorry. I was so absorbed in our discussion. This is the concept of emptiness.
Yes.
Shunyata. So could you please illuminate this concept? What does it mean in actuality? Because sometimes it sounds simply as well, nothing. You see, and then it's like this is the big promise of Buddhism, reaching nothing. So what does emptiness really mean?
Well, that's a very interesting thing. Of course, me is emptiness. I very much like. I'm trying to learning every day, and I try many times. Of course, is emptiness make me always refresh, and emptiness to learning emptiness make me every day young, because never boring. Because somehow you understand, but you not really understand. You know. It's very interesting. It's kind of some subject, some moment you're boring because that's it. That's his end story, you know. But its emptiness is unbelievable. It's you know, of course, the concept of emptiness. Who first discovered in this earth is Buddha Shakyamuni, is 2000, let's say 565 or 7 years ago, who born in India, of course now in Nepal, where he's birth. And that's time one Buddha in India. India already have so many philosophies, you know. That's time they have so many spiritual level. It's kind of maximum. India spiritual level is growing. Time of a Buddha in around there. But what is Buddha is bring new things, something not to bring other master before, you know. I'm sure there are many things, similar things, you know, many things similar. Is one Buddha, he's come in the earth, of course, okay, meditation, I think Buddha before already, maybe a few thousand years, maybe already they're doing, one Buddha is not yet there. But the concept of emptiness, yes, concept of emptiness, is the until now is really the founder of a concept of emptiness is a Buddha, and the emptiness is the heart of a Buddhism. Yes, and this emptiness is we lose emptiness is look like we lose the heart of the human heart. You're a dead man, correct? Is similar, you know. emptiness is the heart of Buddhism, and you prove, let's say, you prove is, let's say this way, heart of emptiness is emptiness, heart of Buddhism, but now without emptiness, we know possible profound way to explain karma, you know, and without emptiness, you know possible profound way to explain reincarnation. It's impossible say many things, but it's profoundly, without emptiness, you know possible to explain with the profound, with pure logic enlightenment, you know, it's nothing possible, you know, of course you possible tell many things. Therefore, emptiness is the heart of Buddhism. What really mean is emptiness is a very simple way explain. Buddhism, we don't believe anything existing independently, inherently. Simple example of emptiness, yeah, emptiness and interdependent arising, you know, possible separate. Let's say, look this way, you look my teacup, and then I push this teacup your side, and then you see is a teacup is coming, I see is a teacup is going. That is a function because of emptiness. And you see teacup is coming, I see teacup is going. And then I ask, what is right, correct? Of course, you see is coming, I see going. But is teacup is coming independently? Is a teacup is coming independently? And then you look, I look, who look, no matter. We always see same thing. You see the teacup is coming, I also see coming, they also see coming. No matter who look, we always have the same view. Is glass coming herself, independently, solidly, but not. Therefore, interdependently, glass is coming. Interdependently, glass is going. Therefore, independent existing is empty. Independent existing, empty. But interdependent existing, of course, is there. But I'm sure then you start to saying, you know, yeah, Tulku Lobsang, maybe yes, maybe good idea, but I don't care what is empty or not. I just want to be happy, you know. I don't want this headache you're talking, you know. Exactly. The relation of emptiness and the self-grasping is very strong. Exactly. You see is a glass is coming. I see is a glass is going. Correct. You see things more independent. You have more grasping. Example, some, I don't know correct to say, some religions or some religion or some politicians, or there's our religion is the absolute truth, no more truth. That is the one, you know. People who have this kind of mind, absolute. Our religion, our God, this is a really absolute, the final truth. And they make so independent, they make so solid. And then they have this stronger grasping, of course. And their stronger grasping, then you have attachment. You have attachment developed, you and your religion, and then you have a hatred to other side. And the people who have this kind of view, you just ask, and they feel, they feel threat, you know. You just ask them. You don't threat anything, just you ask very simple thing, they feel already, what you're asking, you know. Therefore, realization of emptiness is the way to free of self-grasping. Self-grasping is a king of a samsaric world. Self-grasping is the realization of emptiness is the only way to liberate self-grasping. But to have a happy life, you don't need to liberate self-grasping, correct? You know, it's example, I practice compassion. I reduce myself, but I never free of self. I practice meditation. I reduce the self, but I'm not totally free of self. This self, you know. Until you have a self, you have a karmic reactions. Or okay, my shortcut is emptiness means, therefore my shortcut, emptiness, heart of Buddhism. Any man and woman, future, anybody prove something absolute, and Buddhism is dead. Any man and woman, your philosophy, your scientific person, you prove me something, or whatever you say, this is absolute, solid, fix you something, proof, Buddhism is dead. Nothing left to discuss. Then dead religion or spiritual practice, useless. Therefore, emptiness is the heart of Buddhism. Look like your Christianity example. Heart of Christianity, I think God. You know, God is gone, there's nothing left. Similar, emptiness is gone, and the Buddhism is not left. Therefore, very, very important, generally subject. But emptiness is a still secret teaching, not everybody.
Yes. So this is the deeper reason that Buddhism is in essence not a religion. Right? It is a religion, of course, but it in essence, from what you're saying.
Yes, exactly. I also say people, you know, is I think very, very begin in the Buddhism come in the West, they translate the religion, of course, and then I think some moment they translate. I think everybody confused. There's a way of life or something. Then now their new one, there's a science of mind, you know, still a little confused. Therefore, I kind of saying, I'm with my feeling of course, Buddhism is not a religion, but of course they have some element of religion. But of course, you know, I'm not you, but I have an element of you, of course. And Buddhism is not philosophy, but of course they have a very strong nature of philosophy, and the Buddhism is not a culture, but of course they have very strong element of culture. But and I always say Buddhism also, I don't say Buddhism also may be science, but there may be some have element of science. What is the Buddhism? Is the teaching of nature. Then nothing have higher than nature. That is, nature is a foundation of Buddhism. In the foundation of Buddhism, not Buddha, not Tulku Lobsang, not masters, not the Tibetans. Foundation of the nature, a foundation of Buddhism is a nature. Therefore, Buddhism is a teaching of nature. Of course, they have a culture side, you know, big culture side also have. Some people only practice the culture side of Buddhism, you know.
Yes. That has been a wonderful statement, and I think it is the perfect statement to conclude our interview with. And I'm so grateful for this hour that was filled with countless insights and understandings.
Thank you very much. I have this opportunity, and then also you and the people who, whoever look this. I mean, it's their way of my explanation and to something not right or I say wrong things, and just please practice compassion me. It's, you know, it's really, I mean, bottom of my heart, and I'm so happy to have opportunity to share anybody. But of course, I'm an ignorance man, and how I explain, sometimes I'm too exciting, and then there's something say I'm too, it's something I say not correct or something. Of course, please compassion me, and I'm very happy I have this opportunity to discuss with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.